Welcome to the Erik Anders Lang Show. Henrik,
Thank you.
I've been looking forward to this for a long time.
Glad we can make it happen.
You've probably only been looking forward to it for like a couple days or a week. Your career has a lot of highlights. My biggest highlight from your career is Magnolia Lane, listening to Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, you were easy to please then.
Well, it's just like something about that. I think a lot of, how do you look at being serious on tour as a pro golfer? Because it seems like you have a different way of looking at it.
Well, I think, when I'm playing, when I'm performing, I'm very focused. I'm into what I'm doing, and it kind of gives it that, zoned in look and very serious look. But off the golf course, I enjoy a good laugh. I would consider myself having a good sense of humor, but that's kind of personal, right? That's very subjective. No, I like to have fun. I like a good laugh, a good joke, and practical jokes and
jokes,
whatnot. So yeah, there's a lot of things happened over the years,
What some highlights of your practical jokes? I have to know.
See which ones we can tell here, though.
Yeah, this is an unedited podcast. So.
Yeah, no, but we played in I think that was in Beijing years ago, and we went by this market. You can buy anything, and they had this electrical pen. I bought it, and I went around, asked some of my fellow pros for their email addresses, and when they hit the button, they got a nice little shock. That was kind of amusing. When I was a kid, one of my friends, his neighbor, they had the same television, and we took their remotes and we hid outside their living room window in the evening when it was dark outside, and we started, flipping the channels when the man of the house was watching TV. Yeah, we drove into the edge where he almost threw the TV out. That was kind of fun too. So there's been a few good ones. I can't come up with all here, but yeah, a little bit of a prankster every now and again.
You started playing golf much later in life than most professional golfers. What happened? At 12 years old, you're like, I'm going to try this?
It was just a coincidence. It was actually the same guy I did the remote prank with. His family played golf. He played golf. He was a year younger than me, so I guess he was around 10, 11, and I was 11, 12. I played some other sports, but never played golf. No one in my family played the game, and they were just heading out to the local golf course. They asked if I wanted to join. I guess it was a 5-iron or 7-iron or something, and I made some good contacts, obviously, because I went home and I asked my parents for some clubs, and I said I wanted to start playing golf, and along we went.
Have you heard that story from other people before? Obviously, not people who have grown to your level of success, but that's my story, right? Is I hit a ball once and I was like, I'm in.
Yeah.
And now it's my life. I'm entertainment. But have you heard other people falling in love with the game so rapidly like that?
Every now and again, but the most common way is that your parents play, or some friend or something, and they bring you along, and you kind of get introduced that way. I wouldn't say my way of starting to play golf is a common way, but obviously I'm very, very lucky that it happened that way. I've had so much fun with it, even long before turning professional and making it my livelihood and my life. So it's been an amazing journey, and I think that goes for a lot of people in a lot of different ways, though. It's just a coincidence. You're at some place, being at the right place at the right time, and your life just takes a turn, and you end up somewhere completely different. So it's really been cool.
You also turned pro a little late, weren't you? Like 23, I think.
Yeah, seems about right.
So, obviously, the age of turning pro is getting younger and younger, I guess. But what was that progression like? You pick up a club at 12, and 11 years later, you're going to say, "This is it." This is.
Yeah, when I was 18, I got onto the boys team. Played boys golf up to 18 for Sweden, and then after that, I played amateur golf for another 4 years. So I felt like that was a really good kind of school to go through and get the support from the federation. We were being sent around the world and around Europe playing. Individual European Championships, team European Championships, and I kind of crowned my amateur career by playing in the Eisenhower, the World Amateur, in 1998 in Santiago in Chile in South America. So turned pro there. One of the other players on the team. It's a 4-man team. He also turned pro, and we played some local stuff in Argentina and in South America. So those were my first kind of price checks. Were in Buenos Aires. I think it was about $950. That felt big at the time.
Yeah, I mean, you made money doing what you love. Sweden has a pretty thriving golf culture. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. We're about 10 million people. We got 450,000 people who play golf. About 600 golf courses, I think, give or take those numbers. So yeah, it's a big sport. It's a popular sport. I think in the general population's eye, it's always been like ice hockey and soccer, or football as we call it. They've probably been the main ones, and cross-country skiing, downhill skiing. Those have been historically the strong sports, but a lot of people play golf and follow the game, so it's quite big back home.
Yeah, I mean, even without having a winter season, really, right? I mean, can you play any golf in the winter anywhere in Sweden?
In the southern part, if it's a mild winter, I mean, you can argue what's playing golf, what conditions are good to play golf in. I normally compare it with, say, New York or something like that. I think we're fairly close to being on the same kind of, what do you say?
Latitude or longitude?
Yeah.
Parallel.
Yeah, exactly. We're kind of on the same wavelength. And so I'd say April through October is the main season. So it's not super long, but it's not short either. So it's long enough. And when you're a kid, I think it's good to do other sports for developing as an athlete and also get your mind onto something else. So I think the season is long enough to progress, and you can do some other sports in the winter time.
Let's just go to Troon.
Okay.
How many days a week do you think about the Open?
These days, I mean, it's 3 years down the line. It doesn't feel that long ago, but some time has definitely passed. And every now and again, and when I'm in my office in Orlando, I got the claret jug up in the corner there. So of course, and I get asked about it every now and again. And I guess every week that I play, someone would say, "Oh, great final round of Troon, and well done." And
every week.
Yeah, more or less, someone's going to mention it. So it's kind of hard to forget, and I don't want to forget it either. But at the same time, I'm still playing, trying to win tournaments, and you can't live in the past. But every now and again, it's nice to look back at those 4 days in Scotland 3 years ago, and how well I played, and the great battle I had with Phil, and everything that came with it. So no question, that was a dream come true, the biggest achievement and dream of my career. So very happy to been able to live through that.
I'm sure that, let's see, you didn't watch Tom Watson's Duel live because you weren't born yet.
No.
But
hard to see it then.
Maybe you were 1 year old, I think, or something like that. You were born in 76.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. It was 77.
Yeah. So you were 1.
Yeah.
But you must have learned of this round. Did it mean anything to you at any point in your life?
I've seen some highlight footage. I remember them, some of the blows that they were trading and coming up the last hole and so on. But I hadn't seen it in full, and it was just kind of, in the back of your mind, you hear about this great duel that they had, and yeah, that was kind of about pretty much it for me. Yeah. And then the battle I had with Phil very much got compared to it, and yeah, that's something I'm very, very proud of. Winning the Open was great, and don't get me wrong, I would have taken 72 against Phil 73 any day of the week just to get my hands on a claret jug. But it means more when you manage to play the level of golf that we did, and there's no question I wouldn't have done that if Phil wasn't there to push me. I wouldn't have gone out and shot 63. I mean, that's just one of those rare moments when you really push each other on, and we were both playing great and just turned into great fights, and it just gives that extra sparkle to winning the claret jug, breaking the championship record, and playing one of my best rounds, or the best round ever when it mattered the most. I mean, that's kind of the stuff that you think about in your dreams, really.
Yeah, you tied the best round ever in a... No, you had the best round ever, best total score in a major, and best final round in a major tied.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, so have you talked with Tom Watson at all about this?
No, I just I received some very nice letters and comments from some of the game's greats, or all of the game's great, really. Whether it was from Tiger to Jack Nicklaus, Jack sent me a handwritten letter, and you know, yeah, I got that one. I got it in my office.
That's classy.
Yeah, and Gary Player from Arnie's team, and yeah, it was, and also from Tom. So I mean, we received so much praise for the level of golf that we played. So that was very, very nice of them to do that.
So I talked with Tom last week, and I said, you know, how do you rank Carnoustie in '77? I mean, you know, it was
Turnberry.
Turnberry in '77. Thank you. Cut that out. How do you rank that? And he said, well, it was good, but it wasn't as good as Phil and Henrik. I was pretty stunned. I mean, I, like you, wasn't alive for that round, and you know, it's kind of a coincidence for me because, I mean, I actually can't stop thinking about Troon because it was a moment for me in my golf career where I had started playing golf 6 years prior when I was 30, and my best friend and I woke up early. We were in LA, so it was like the crazy time change.
Yeah.
We had bagels. We turned it on. You know, I work with a lot of pro golfers. I interview them. People say, "Who's your favorite golfer?" I try not to answer that because it's uncomfortable. But as a Swede,
it's gonna be easy now, though.
Now it's very easy. Yeah. But as a, you know,
Who's your favorite golfer?
But you know, I mean, I as a Swedish heritage, right? I've been to Göteborg several times.
Yeah.
I love it there. You know, I admire your sense of humor, but also your seriousness on the golf course. You know, I don't need to blow any more smoke up your ass, but the point is that day was like the strange thing that you may not realize is that day was a day for me and for other people, and so I imagine it must be strange when people come up to you and they say, "Great round at Troon," and you're like, "That was years ago, man. Like, I'm trying to play golf today."
Yeah.
But it's tough for us because we all live back in that moment where you did what every golfer, amateur, professional, wants to do, which is just play out of their brain.
Yeah. No, it was, I mean, it is a very special memory, and it's going to be with me for the rest of my life, so I'm very proud of it, and it's kind of fun when you hear the impact or how caught up people were getting watching it. I mean, because we're athletes, we're sports people, and I mean, we play for other people's enjoyment and entertainment as well. So when you manage to deliver something that special, that it's like you hear fans saying, "Oh, I couldn't stop watching it," and the best round of golf I've ever seen, and all those things. I mean, you walk a bit taller, and you're very, very proud about it. So, all right, so I'm happy I could interfere your bagel breakfast in LA. Yeah.
So 2 last questions about it. Do you remember at what point you stopped looking at the scoreboard?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's the one thing that stands out for me is that I come off. I make the birdie on the last, I make the putt on the last, and me and Phil walks off. We sit down in the recording area, and we're looking up, and they got the 2 monitors, one with my scorecard and one with his. And I mean, I just look up and it's like, whoa, 4 birdies in the last 5 holes. It didn't even strike me when I was out there playing. So that tells me I was in the zone mentally. I mean, I was in the right place of mind, right frame of mind. I was just playing one shot at a time and giving it my all so I didn't even reflect how many birdies I made coming in. But also the moment when I was on the 14th green, I had about a 15-20 footer, whatever it was, 15 footer for birdie. And I remember saying to myself, well, Phil's not going anywhere. I mean, if you want to win this thing, you better make chances like these, because coming in Troon is not the easiest finish. And I had a great chance there, and I knocked that one in, and then I make that 51 footer on the next off the fringe, which is amazing. And I think up until that point, Phil probably felt like, okay, I can get one back. But yeah, I think looking at the footage when I watched it afterwards, he looks a little paler when I make that 51 footer, because I think he probably realized that, okay, time's running out now and I'm 2 behind. And then when it's your day, his eagle attempt on 16 is like crazy. I mean, it's like 1/2 revolution. It glances over the edge, and then I make my 4.5, 5 footer for birdie to stay 2 ahead, and yeah, we managed to make another birdie there on 18. But it was, yeah, it's small margins. I mean, you play 3.5, 4 days, and it just comes down to one shot or one putt, and that's the difference between winning it and finishing second sometimes. So.
For me, one of the most nerve-wracking moments was the final few feet of your drive on 18.
It was only 3-wood.
Yeah, it was only 3-wood, but you almost reached the bunker. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know how it stopped.
I thought it went in. From where we stand on that back tee, I can't see. There's a little bit of a swale down or a little dip down there, and I just saw it disappear, and I looked at my caddy. I said, did that just go in the bunker? Because I mean, it was like 300 and I don't know, 20 yards to that bunker or something. I mean, adrenaline is obviously up here. And
was it downwind for you that day?
It wasn't really downwind. I just hit this like rocket and pushed it a little bit, and you can tell because I hit wedge second shot, and I think Phil hit like a cut up 3-wood, and I think he hit 7 irons. I mean, I got my 3-wood like 40 yards ahead of him, I think. Luckily, it stayed short, and I hit it in there and make the putt as a bonus. I didn't know it was for the championship record.
You didn't even know?
When I made that one, no. I just thought I'd finish in style. I'll try and finish in style by making it, and we did.
I'll get to style in a second, but I'm going to use some of this for this film I'm making for the RNA about the journey from Prestwick to Portrush. But, you know, as you've gone from being a non-golfer to an amateur golfer to a professional golfer to the champion golfer of the year, how has your definition of yourself changed over the years?
Well, I think I don't know if I look at myself that much different compared to earlier. I mean, I feel like pretty much I'm the same guy. I'm busier. I've had a very successful career. I mean, I'm so. Looking back at it, I mean, I don't feel like I'm done yet. I got a few more things I want to try and achieve, a few more tournaments I want to try and win. But when I just sit back and relax and take it all in a little bit, I mean, the journey that I made is amazing, and quite a few guys with me out here have had the same kind of luxury to do that and to play the sport that you love, to travel the world, see all the places, meet all the people, and be good at what you do is truly something special, and that's kind of what you start thinking about. I think later on you don't think about that when you're 30, but I'm 43 now, and I've had a long career, so you start appreciating some other things as well. And like at Pebble a couple of weeks ago, you're playing there and it kind of hits you a little bit. Yeah, I'm probably not going to play another championship here. Now I played the one in 2010, and I'll play the US Open in 2019. I mean, that was probably my last US Open at Pebble. So you get a little bit more, kind of emotional, or you just start thinking in different ways when you're kind of on the back nine of your career a little bit. So I think it changes you. The way you look at your career and the game changes with time, but for me as a person, no, I don't know if I've changed that much really, and if success changed you, and so no, I don't feel like it.
You've traveled all over the world from a very young age for golf. What has it taught you about where you grew up?
Yeah, being very fortunate to grow up in Sweden, where you can, I mean, you obviously stable environments. Everyone, or most people, they got a good home, and you got schools, and you can play sports, and all the stuff that you want to do. So that stability obviously means a lot, and provides a lot of opportunities that you might not get in other parts of the world. So lucky to have been brought up in Sweden and had the chance to play sports.
How different is golf in Sweden from all the other places in the world that you played?
I think in Sweden it's very accessible. So, and that's why we managed to get so many good male and female players over the years, because you got the little clubs with little junior practices, and it's quite accessible in terms of how cheap it is to be a member and to get out there and play the game. And then once you get a bit more serious, you can progress to the next level all the way up until the national level, and then eventually turn pro. So there's always tournaments to play, there's always support to get, and the next level to get onto. So for a small country with a somewhat limited season, we created a lot of good golfers, and not just in golf, but as a sporting nation, given 10 million people, I think we really made our mark on sports all around the world. So I think that's something to be very, very proud of as a Swedish athlete.
You're a righty golfer, right-handed golfer. You're wearing is that a Royal Oak on your hand?
Yeah.
Nice watch.
Thank you.
You're wearing it on the right hand because you're a lefty.
Yeah.
Why do you play golf right-handed?
So when I was a kid, I didn't play ice hockey, but we played a lot of street hockey. So we always had the hockey sticks, a tennis ball. We built our own goals and had matches with my neighbors and the other kids in the neighborhood. So for some reason, yeah, I'm left-handed. That felt natural. And when I picked up a golf club, I guess it felt very natural to fire the same way. So I think that's the right way to do it, to have your dominant hand on top of the club. I've
heard this, Sir Bob Charles, New Zealand golfer,
yeah.
He's won the Open a couple times.
Yeah, I actually played with him in my first Open at Royal Troon in 2001.
Did you talk to him about righty versus lefty?
No, I know he's a
He's on and on about it. He says he's not lefty. He says I'm righty.
Okay. But he's right-handed though.
No, he plays left-handed,
yeah,
from a traditional perspective, but he feels like he plays right-handed because, like you said, his dominant hand is pulling the club.
Yeah. And Phil is the same way though. I mean, Phil is right-handed, playing lefty.
Yeah. So
he had a different. I think he looked at his dad in a mirror or something to learn the game. I think from Mickelson.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Is golf the most important thing in your life?
It has been, but I'd say family is more important than golf at this point.
How do you manage that with such a demanding schedule?
Yeah, it is quite tricky. I mean, if you're ever gonna mention the word sacrifice, I mean, we get to do what we love. Like I said, travel the world, play the best golf courses, get paid nicely to do it, and have great opportunities. But anyone, no matter what way of career, or I mean, if you're traveling 30 weeks a year, you're gonna be away from your family a lot and miss out on a lot of things in your kid's life. And so that would be the hardest thing, I think, at this point, sitting in a hotel room somewhere when you feel like you could be home sharing some good times with your kids, or taking them to soccer practice or golf practice or whatever it might be. So that's the downside with what we do, but also it creates a lot of opportunities, and it is a bit of a juggle, like everyone knows, playing, practicing, traveling, competing, family time, vacations with the family, sponsors, media. I mean, it is a puzzle. I got some great help from my management team and my PA and everyone else to try and coordinate things as well as we can. Time management, both for my practice and the things that we do off the golf course, is key to make sure that we get everything in. And then we got some other business interests as well that takes a bit of time. But then I think when you're doing something that you really like to do, it's not going to be as much as a burden either. I mean, you can sometimes you spend time, but it actually gives you energy. If you enjoy it, it's going to make it a lot easier as well. So I'm trying to even though I'm a perfectionist and I can get down on myself quite a lot, it's still important to try and keep a positive. I mean, if you're going to have to do something for an hour, you could either feel like it's a pain to do it, or you can actually enjoy the hour, and then I think it's going to go by a lot quicker, like this hour.
What? I knew there was a joke coming in there about this experience. What is it? You said you get down on yourself. What does that look like? I mean, we don't get to see that.
No, I'm just a perfectionist. I think most people who are successful will have a strain of that. I mean, you don't want to make bad interviews or have the camera being unfocused or anything. I mean, I'm the same. I want to hit good golf shots. I want to play the game as good as I can, as close to perfection as I feel I can, and I picked a pretty difficult sport to do that. I mean, in bowling, you can have your 300, right? Here, you can always go one better. You can always hit it better. You're never going to be finished with this. Not saying that you're going to be finished with bowling. If you have one 300, you want to have another one. But it can be a frustrating game. So it's the balance. What's good enough, and not trying to get even better sometimes, and actually accept where you're at and try and play good with kind of where you're at the moment with the different parts of your game, and accepting that rather than, oh, it needs to be better. But at the same time, that's what drives you to become better. So
right.
It's a bit of a balance, but I expect a lot from myself and from the people in my surroundings. But I hope that I'm the harshest towards myself and not towards the people around me.
What is the hardest part of the job? What's the part that you're just like, I hate this part? You know what I mean?
I think when you're sitting there and traveling and you get major delays and lost luggage and all that kind of stuff, it doesn't happen too often, but every now and again it could happen on long haul flights, and I mean, I think sometimes you can just sense it. It's like that first little thing, and the snowball just starts rolling, and then the half an hour delay that they're announcing turns into 2 hour, and then you have a technical on the plane, and then you have to stay until tomorrow, and it's just like, it can just go from bad to worse. So I think, that it's not as sexy to be out traveling as it was, and staying in a hotel room as it was 15, 20 years ago.
Exactly. It's almost like it gets harder, but it's the irony is that, I mean, people don't think, it doesn't look that way. Like the way we use the world now with social media, I feel like it looks like, oh, this guy's having a great life, and meanwhile you're just like, no. Every time I fly, it gets more and more annoying because you're I don't know. Like I went to the airport the other day and I was like, I'm in a zoo. I'm in a zoo right now, and it's just like people are going crazy, and it's almost like the better you get at traveling, the worse everybody else gets. You know what I mean? And it's like everyone's just walking into each other.
Security can take a while,
yeah.
And check-in can be a mayhem. Yeah.
Do you have a quote that you say to yourself that you think about?
Well, I mean, with a lot of the things that we're discussing here is still third world. Or not third world problems. It's first world problems, right? So I mean, there's always going to be people a lot worse off than you being frustrated at security, right? Or losing your luggage. But as we know, as human beings, we kind of zone in on what's there in front of us at the moment, and it's the same on the golf course. I mean, a bogey compared to someone who just ended up in hospital or got the notice that they have a bad disease or something, then making a bogey is pretty insignificant.
But do you actually think about that on the golf course? Do you make
a
bogey?
No, I don't think you can. You have to be caught up in what you're doing, but sometimes it's good to take a step back and especially if you kind of feel like you're going in the wrong direction with that, it's good to take a step back and take a breath and kind of, okay, it's not that bad.
Do you feel like part of that, though, is Swedish culture teaching you correctly? Because I feel like as an American, you don't learn that. They're just like, kill or be killed.
Yeah, I think we might have a little bit more kind of patience in the upbringing. And if you're talking sports, and it's important, but if it doesn't work today, I mean, you still got the process kind of to become better, and if you do the right things over time, you will eventually get the results, and you will get the good stuff. You want to have a competitive attitude, but it doesn't need to happen today, though. I mean, you got time as well. Work on the right things over time, and you will have success. So a bit of patience is good too. In golf itself, what do you find to be the most gratifying experience, aside from like winning? I mean, we're talking.
Like, is it flush contact? Is it exactly what you wanted? Is it a putt? Is it, what do you really enjoy the most?
I think we touched a little bit on that earlier, that with Troon being able to kind of perform at your highest level when you want it the most. I think that's something that's very gratifying, but I'm a competitor, but I also like to practice. I like that side of, I mean, you're standing there for half an hour in a bunker on a pitching green or something, and it's like, you know what you're looking for, and then, okay, I nailed it. That's the shot that I want, and then of course to do it more often, and then to be able to bring that out, and you hit that shot in the competition, that okay, yeah, this is exactly the one I was kind of practicing 2 months ago, and then now I have the opportunity, and you pull it off. Then you get, I mean, you might be in 25th position, but you still know, like, that was the shot I wanted to hit. And so the execution side of that doesn't always have to be, I mean, it's fun to win ugly as well. You hit a clunky 5-iron into the middle of the green and you two-putt, but it's kind of feel better if you hit that high cut shot that just drops down and you make the birdie on the last to win by 1. I mean, that's kind of the exciting stuff.
Would you rather hit a bad shot with a good result or a good shot with a bad result?
Knowing myself, I'd probably go for the good shot with a slightly worse result, which is crazy. But I think that's the perfectionist. I want it to be done in what I consider the right way for me. But at the same time, I mean, I'll take a clunky 5-iron and make the putt and get the trophy. That's fine too.
Do you when you are on the range, like, can you walk me through what is going through your head? Like the last time you were on the range and you were working on something. Are you looking at your wrist?
We got fresh memory cards and all the cameras. I mean, what goes on in your mind is like, oof, how much time do we have? I mean, for me now, I'm actually trying to make things simpler. I tend to complicate things a bit, and again, I think that's the perfectionist, and you're always constantly trying to get better and so on, but it's a game. Mentally, you got to keep it simple to play your best. You can have one swing thought or one feeling or something. When it gets too many things in there, so for me, I'm more kind of working more on basics and trying to declutter rather than adding things. I'm a field player, even though I want to be a robot. I'm still a field player. So much kind of gets down to the fields, and also the difficult part is not chasing those feelings, because the feeling that you had when you were playing good, that's really a consequence of the things that you were doing that eventually gives you a feeling. But then when we're not getting it, we try and chase the feeling, and then you can get really lost and tangled up. So we always talk about going back to basics, and that's probably one thing I haven't been good enough to, set up and aim and get all those things.
Really?
Yeah, letting that slip sometimes.
Literally aim.
Yeah, sometimes a little basic stuff that, I mean, I try and stay on top of it, but yeah, it's like, oh, it doesn't feel right here, I'm not coming in. So then it's easy to go down the wrong path, really. So keeping to basics is certainly something I have to remind myself of quite a lot.
If someone told you that if you switched to playing lefty and you could win 3 more majors versus maintaining righty and only winning 7 regular tournaments, what would you do?
I'd switch in a heartbeat. I mean, majors are the ones that we want to get. It's the ultimate prize in our sport, and yeah, I'll take majors over. I mean, I'll take 1 major over 5 regular tournaments. With what I managed to achieve up until today, winning never gets old. I'd love to win again and win more tournaments, but I'd certainly trade a few regular tournament wins for another major, no question. They're very special. So yeah. Well, but I know if I switch, you'll beat me every day. I'm no good playing lefty.
Really?
Yeah. I had a vision that I could play of 18, but I kind of given up on that. Unless I turn the club around and I hit it off the toe playing righty, I'll be better at that, I think.
When you were 11, what did you want to do? I mean, you must have had a totally different plan for your life. I mean, 5th grade. I don't know if you.
Yeah, I mean, when you're 11, do you think about your life that much? I think you wake up and you think about what you're gonna do today, and that you have to go to school, and you'll be pissed off with your parents that you have to go to school, and then you're just thinking about what you're gonna do when school's over. No, I actually kind of liked school to a degree, though. I liked some of the subjects for sure.
What subjects?
Math. Yeah, we got to play some sports. I think history and geography, and you always learn something, right? So yeah, school's a good thing, that's for sure. But I think my focus was on playing sports after school, and that's kind of what occupies your mind. And yeah, I think I was looking forward to that a lot every day.
I feel like I have no more questions. I feel like I'm done.
No, you're done.
I feel
We've
like
emptied you.
I feel like I feel like I could come up with more. But do you have any questions for me?
So you said you started playing golf when you were 30.
30, and I'm 38.
Okay, so that's quite late. What got you into the game then?
My brother.
Yeah.
Similar to your neighbor. Like, he just was like, "Do you want to play golf?" And I was like, "Nah." And then I was like, "You know what? I'll try it."
Okay.
And I hit one good shot, and I was like, "Whoa."
And you play every week?
I play all the time.
Yeah?
That's all I do.
As much as you can? So
Yeah.
you're like completely hooked?
Yeah, no, like I this is all I do. Like, all I do is I do this podcast, I make golf videos, I travel around, I play golf.
Try different courses? And,
Yeah, I actually was, your course is opening.
Yeah.
When?
Yeah. They're gonna have like a pre-opening. They got the club championship in early August, and then we're having the other one. I think it's the 12th of September, maybe.
Yeah,
or
I think
14th or so. Yeah, it's around there. Mid September we're opening the first course. So I'm super excited about that. I mean, golf course design. I played so many good courses. I played a lot of bad courses too, and you develop with all the competitions you played. You know, different setups and different holes you like, and so I think I got a pretty good mix of things I want to try and put into golf course design. So I'm really excited about this project in Stockholm, and seeing the first finished product and getting the reviews if they like it or not, and yeah, I think we succeeded pretty well with that one.
I'm excited. I'll check it out eventually. I think that weekend there was some type of scheduling. I can't remember what it was, but I am excited to get out there.
Yeah, if you've only been to Gothenburg, I'm from Gothenburg. That's where I was born and raised until I was about 15. Then I moved further down south, just
Malmö?
north of Malmö, across from Copenhagen in Denmark, and that's where we go back in the summertime. So my family's there now. When kids are out of school in Florida, they make the move over and spend 10, 11 weeks, get the Swedish summer. But Stockholm, even though I'm not from there, I have to say it's a beautiful city. So you need to go and visit. And
I've been to Stockholm once, but I've never played golf in Sweden.
Okay, well we need to change that. You need to come and
I would
try
love
out,
that.
A few other
We should
courses.
play your course.
Yeah, yeah.
What kind of time do you take off in the fall?
Well, given how busy it is, I'm playing 2 schedules. I'm playing PGA Tour, European Tour, and it's a bit of a merry-go-round. I don't think I've had more than 5 weeks, maybe 6 in between seasons for the last 10 years.
Whoa.
So we don't have much of an off-season. So I try and portion out a few little blocks. So when I do the course opening there mid-September, I play Wentworth the week after.
Right.
And then I probably have 3.5 weeks off. So that'd be like a little mini off season, and then I go on a traveling run at the end of the year. Then we got some Asian tournaments, PGA Tour, European Tour, and maybe South Africa, Dubai, playing in Hong Kong for the first time. I'm excited about that one too.
In Hong Kong at the HSBC?
No, HSBC one is
That's
in Shanghai, and then the Hong Kong Open. All my years on tour, I never played in Hong Kong, and believe it or not, this next week in Northern Ireland is the first time I play golf in Northern Ireland.
Really?
So I went over to have a look at Portrush Sunday, Monday this last weekend, and yeah, the 18 I played on the Monday at Portrush. That's the first time I've ever played golf in Northern Ireland over all these years. So there's still a first, even though I feel like a seasoned veteran. There's still first to do and places to see, and yeah, I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be a great Open.
Was it just me? I played Portrush 2 weeks ago. Was it just me, or was that course tough?
I heard some of the guys said before that it's pretty easy, and I was like, no, I'm out there. If it starts blowing, I mean, even some of the easier or supposedly easier holes, shorter holes, I still find them very tricky. The one thing that struck me was a lot of the green complexes were more elevated than I expected, and bigger runoffs than normally on links. And if it gets windy, I feel like you still need to flight the ball up into the air to get it onto the green.
To stop it.
And there were some really tough holes out there. I think the fourth is a tough hole.
Yeah.
It's still got and the
par
first
5 with the tiny little green.
Yeah, and the first is I mean, it's a short hole, but they got that out of bounds. You got all you're seeing. I mean, it's not a good thing in your mind when you're stepping out. It's like, oh, it's out of bounds both left and right.
Yeah.
The second got out of bounds down the right. The fourth the same, and then 18th. So it's a bit more white stakes than normal, I'd say, for links. And
the rough is like up to your knee.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll be able to find your ball, but even if you can, it's like
It's a hack out most of the time. You can get lucky in certain areas, I can guess, but overall, you got to hit the fairways, and then you have the normal challenge of how much does it bounce, where does it bounce. You got pot bunkers.
Yeah.
You gotta maneuver a way around it. I don't think it's going to be a low-scoring Open Championship. No, unless it's flat calm, because then most links courses gonna present a fair amount of birdie chances. But with a bit of wind and some tricky pins, a couple under a day, you'll be laughing, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't wait, man. Well, I should have fun in Hong Kong.
Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy that. That's the last tournament most likely I'll play this year. That's in, I think, that last week in November.
Okay.
So a long ways out, but that'll be a fun one. I hear that's a lot of people. That's their favorite city in Asia.
Yeah, it's like almost not a very Asian city in some sense, because it's so
British inspired from the kind of British rule over the city for so many years. But
do you like race car games, like video games?
I'm not a big gamer.
I'm not either, but it feels like you're in a race car video game.
Okay.
When you drive through the city.
Yeah.
It's cool, and there's some great golf there.
Yeah, good golf, good restaurants. That's another fun thing when you're traveling the world. All the different types of food. Are you adventurous with trying new food, or?
I don't go too crazy.
No?
I mean, I feel like my life is pretty adventurous as it is, so I usually try to just, why do you eat like raw eel and stuff?
Not the eel, but I mean, up until I guess I was 30, I never really tried sushi. So I mean,
well, I eat sushi.
In the last 15 years, 12, 15 years, I've certainly eaten more sushi than I had ever done before. So I like that, but I like food from all over. I mean, Swedish food is not. Yeah, it's a lot of cooked food, and it used to be like cooked lunch, cooked dinners, and heavier stuff. But I mean, the variations of having food from all over the world. You can have Italian one night, you can have a steak, you can have Asian food. I like variety, and when you're traveling, you can get most foods. So that's kind of a plus.
I noticed a desk out front here. Are they making dinner reservations for you? Is that what that is?
We can eat they turned the Players Lounge here into a restaurant at night. So that's where I'm gonna have dinner tonight with one of my coaches. We're gonna grab a meal up there.
Oh, cool. So you just hang out, you have dinner, then what do you watch a movie, go to bed? FaceTime with the kids?
Yeah. Pretty much it. When you're working, I've had a couple of long days here traveling and mapping out the course at Portrush for 2 days, and coming here, some obligations, and practicing in the rain, and we'll see. I think we're going to be wet for most of the week. Weekend looks a little nicer, but it's saying a lot of rain, but hopefully it kind of comes and goes a little bit. If you get showers, that's better than it's just like constant downpour. That's a bit miserable.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I love being outside as much as we are playing. You're outside every day. I'm not a person that would enjoy sitting inside an office 5 days a week, 6 days a week. So that's enjoyable. But there's the odd day when it's pouring down. It's like, inside is not that bad.
Yeah, you just visualize the sauna basically, because it's cold rain here. It's not just rain.
They say normally that it's summer because the rain is warm, but I don't know. It didn't feel that warm today.
Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to me. I appreciate it.
No, thank you. That's been fun. Thank you.